All right, well, hi everyone, and thank you for joining us today for this information buffet. My name is Maddie Parker, and this afternoon we are going to be covering the school year 24-25 NSLP application in My NHDOE. So as a reminder, this presentation will be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel for viewing later. And we will have some time at the end for questions, so make sure to put them in the Q&A box whenever they come up. So we will first start off with how to access My NHDOE, and this is where the SAU will submit their application. We are going to be covering all the required application materials, the application in My NHDOE, the timeline for when everything should be submitted, and the application checklist. At the end of the presentation, I'll go over important reminders and tips for completing the application. So the first and really important step for completing the NSLP application is making sure that all staff involved have an account and the correct permissions in My NHDOE. If a new employee at the SAU does not have an account in My NHDOE, they will need to create an account directly from the site, not through our office. To update permissions in the system, a program authorization form will need to be submitted through our office. The I4C coordinator at your school may be able to add permissions in our system, but you or the staff member needing this permission will not be fully granted access unless our office receives a program authorization form. And the link to this form will be at the end of the presentation. Someone said that the screen is all black. Can anybody confirm that they can see it? All right, Sam, you might have to log back in to the Zoom for it to work for you. Why don't you give that a try? So as I was saying, the program authorization form, the link to that will be at the end of this presentation, but here's just a photo of what it looks like on the slide. So there will need to be an application data entry role. This person will be entering all the data into the application, as well as uploading the required attachments. The SAU will also have to identify an application submit role. This person will be submitting the application to our office for review. If there are no updates to permissions in My NHDOE, the SAU is not required to submit a program authorization form for this upcoming school year. And just as a reminder, permissions may be changed at any point during the school year. Food Service Management Company employees will not be granted permission to enter data or submit the application on behalf of the SAU. It is also important to remember that staff members may not share accounts in My NHDOE. So once any permissions in My NHDOE have been updated, the contact information and site information in the NSLP application will need to be updated. Some of the information rolled over from school year 23-24 may still be accurate, but all information must be double-checked for school year 24-25. On the sponsor page, the application data entry will need to make sure the application contact, business administrator, nutrition service director, superintendent, and SAU hearing official are all up to date. Please remember, the application contact must be an SAU employee, not a Food Service Management Company employee. Make sure the hearing official on the sponsor page matches the hearing official on any documents that are uploaded to the NSLP application. On the sponsor page, the operating information at the bottom will need to be updated to reflect the first day of school for school year 24-25 and the scheduled last day of school for school year 24-25. Lastly, make sure commodities is checked up at the bottom of the sponsor page. Do not put a termination date in any active school site. So updating information on the site pages. For each site application, the application data entry will need to make sure all information is up to date. This includes the school information, days of operation, lunch prices, current grades approved for each site. So if any grade changes happened over the past year, make sure those are updated. The meals that are approved to serve, operating data, and so forth. Do not forget to update contacts for each site. To update the site contacts, the application data entry will click on the contacts hyperlink at the top of each site page. So again, this needs to be done on each site page. This will bring you to the contacts page where the confirming reviewer, determining official, follow-up official, food service director, and verification official can all be updated. So failure to complete all the required site information will result in the application being returned to the SAU. So once all the data and information has been updated on both the sponsor and all the site pages, the completed application attachments can be uploaded. So it's not required that all the data in the sponsor and site pages be done first, but the SFA might find it easier to do it this way. So where can you find all the application materials for this upcoming school year? Starting from the ONPS homepage on our website, which I linked at the end of the slides of this presentation, you will navigate to the NSLP homepage and then the NSLP application materials, which will be the first larger hyperlink, as you can see in the screenshot. And when I send the slides out, all of these links will be hyperlinked in there, so they should be easily clickable for you guys. So on the NSLP application materials portion of our website, you will see there are 3 sections or categories of application attachments. Free and reduced price meal applications, or for SFA use only, school year 24-25 NSLP application materials, and then additional documentation. For this year's application, the NSLP team worked to make the overall application process more streamlined by specifically identifying what attachments are required by all SAUs and which may not be applicable to everyone. SAUs should refer to the NSLP application checklist on which materials are required and which may not be for your SAU. Before completing any of the application attachments, the application checklist should be downloaded or printed, whichever you prefer, and gone through thoroughly. The completed checklist must be uploaded as part of the NSLP application. As I mentioned, the checklist breaks down what attachments are required of every SAU and what may not be required to upload into my NHDOE. The checklist is under the school year 24-25 NSLP application materials section. It is also linked at the end of this presentation. And now we can take a closer look at each section of the application materials. These documents are listed under for SFA use only, meaning these do not have to be uploaded in my NHDOE under the attachment section of the NSLP application for school year 24-25. These documents are still important and should be downloaded for the SFA to look over. Many of these, such as the free and reduced application, parent appeal rights, parent letter, and the application cover page, will need to be included in the back to school packet that is sent to households. As a reminder, the cover page has an expiration date of 7/31/23. And I know we spoke about this last year, but you can ignore this expiration date as this is the most up-to-date version from USDA. If you have any questions about any of these attachments, please drop them into the Q&A box and we will answer them at the end of this presentation. And now we will move on to the required attachments for the application. So again, here are all the required attachments for school year 24-25. And I'm going to be going over all these attachments in further detail on the next couple of slides. I am not going to go over the PLE tool as Ruth, our PLE expert, has done so in a previous information buffet, which you can find on our YouTube channel, linked at the end of the presentation. So we'll start with the non-program food revenue tool. So the non-program food revenue tool and reference period. So one tool must be submitted per operating budget. So the reference period must be a week, a typical month, or the previous full school year. As a reminder, a typical month is a month of 30 or 31 days where the school district or SAU is not scheduled to be closed for more than 3 weekdays. All reports that are used to complete this tool must be submitted as backup and uploaded with the application. Failure to attach reports will result in the application being sent back to the SAU. The supporting documentation should show the a la carte sales, adult meals, and other non-program food revenue. It must back up the figures that are included on the non-program food revenue tool. If the SFA or district only sells a la carte milks and or adult meals, you may complete the non-program food revenue tool exemption attestation. And this would be in place of completing the tool. And this can be found under the application attachment section of our website. The SFA must still track the cost and revenue of these items separate from program food if the exemption attestation is completed. The next required attachments include the NSLP application attestation and the computerized systems for verifying nutrient analysis. The application attestation, which certifies that all information on the application is true and correct, must be completed and signed by the SFA superintendent or RCCI director, whichever is applicable. On the verifying nutrient analysis attachment, the name of each school and the software system used for nutrient analysis must be listed. If no software is used, please indicate so by writing NA. This will still need to be attached to the application if no software system is used for nutrient analysis. SFAs are required to submit the procurement procedure declaration page. In addition to the declaration page, the SFA must submit the SAU's local code of conduct and the SFA's local level procurement procedures. This form also must be signed by the superintendent or RCCI director as applicable. Please do not forget to include the additional attachments along with the procurement declaration page. As you can see, these are indicated by the red circle. The SFA must upload the New Hampshire Federal Meal Program's wellness documentation along with the most up-to-date wellness policy. If the wellness policy has not been updated in the past 3 years, the SFA must upload the triennial assessment as well. Every local education agency participating in the National School Lunch Program and or School Breakfast Program must conduct an assessment of their wellness policy every 3 years at a minimum. The UNH Triennial Assessment Tracking Tool is linked at the end of this presentation, which you may find helpful. If the SFA is required to complete the triennial assessment for school year 24-25 and has not updated their wellness policy for school year 25-26, this may delay the approval of the school year 25-26 NSLP application. If you have any questions or concerns specific to your SAU or RA's wellness policy or triennial assessment, please email our office for any assistance. Child Nutrition Program's SFA agreement, also known as the permanent agreement. So the permanent agreement is an agreement between ONPS, our office, and the SFA. This must be signed by the superintendent or RCCI director. By signing, the school food authority official acknowledges that he or she has read this agreement, understands it, and agrees to be bound by its terms and conditions. So make sure that this is read through carefully so you know what you're agreeing to. Lastly, for the NSLP application required materials, the SFA must upload the signed free and reduced policy statement, as well as the SFA's local level meal charge policy. By signing the free and reduced policy statement, the SFA accepts responsibility for providing free and reduced price meals and/or free milk to eligible children in the schools under its jurisdiction each day. For the meal charge policy, SFAs are required per USDA and New Hampshire RSA 18911A to have a written meal charge policy. The approved policy must be uploaded to the NSLP application every school year. We will now cover additional application attachments that might be required of your SFA or RA based on additional programs that you are operating or applying to operate. So the special milk program. If there is a school or site in your SFA participating in the special milk program, this site will need to download the updated 24-25 special milk program application instructions, application for free milk, and the parent letter. As a reminder, schools may only operate for special milk if the students do not have access to any other child nutrition program. These do not have to be uploaded in the attachment section of the application. If a site is operating special milk, it will need to be indicated on the site application under meals approved to serve. The computerized systems for meal benefits approval is required if your SFA uses a computerized system for meal benefit approval. Please list the name of the school and the computerized system used to approve free or reduced price parent income applications for meal benefits. If your SAU does not use a computerized system for meal benefit approval, this form does not have to be filled out or uploaded with your National School Lunch Program application. If you are an RCCI, the list of board members must be uploaded with the application. And as previously mentioned, if your SFA is attesting to only selling a la carte milks and adult meals, the non-program food revenue exemption attestation must be uploaded to the application, replacing the need to upload the non-program food revenue tool. An application for the after-school snack program is required if your school wishes to participate or apply to participate in the program and claim for snacks under the National School Lunch Program. All schools applying to operate ASSP must be included on the attachment. A sample menu and description of the educational component must be included on the application in order to be approved. If your SFA or district contracts with the food service management company, the procurement and food service management declaration must be fully completed and attached to the NSLP application. If the annual contract value on the declaration does not match what we have on file in our office, the application will be returned. If your SFA has a vended meals contract or a buying group agreement, this declaration should also be completed with this information. So uploading attachments in My NHDOE. To upload attachments in the school year 24-25 NSLP application, the application data entry role must log into My NHDOE. Make sure that the FY 2025 dropdown is selected in the right-hand corner of the web page. Then navigate to the NSLP application by clicking on the Not Started or In Process hyperlink under the National School Lunch Program. You will see this in the first screenshot at the top. After clicking here, it will bring you to the sponsor page of the NSLP application. Here, the application data entry we'll click on the attachments hyperlink, as you can see in the bottom screenshot. And this will bring you to where the completed attachments will then be uploaded. You will want to choose the file indicated by the red arrow, and then select the attachment type. So our office is working on updating the attachment names in the application for next school year, as this has to be done by IT, not by us. So for school year 24-25, the best option is to select Other as attachment type and write the title of the document or the title of the backup documentation in the description. So make sure it is very clear what document you are uploading. This will minimize any back and forth between our office and the SAU and will lead to the NSLP application review process being conducted much more efficiently. If you are having any trouble uploading attachments, please do not hesitate to reach out to our office. Or if you're confused what to label anything, please reach out. Once the application data entry has updated all the information in the application and finished uploading the attachments, the application must be fully submitted to our office for review. First, the application data entry will click on the In Process hyperlink from the sponsor page. This will open up the Send to Submitter box. Data entry will select Yes, Send to Submitter. After this has been done, the In Process will now say Pending Submission to DOE. So once it says Pending Submission to DOE, you'll know it's with the application submit. The application submit will then log in and follow the same process, clicking on the Pending Submission to DOE. So you'll know that the application is fully submitted to our office when the application status on the sponsor page says Pending DOE Approval. All right, now we can move on to deadlines, reminders, and any helpful tips and tricks. The SFA must have the NSLP application fully approved by our office before the start of the school year. Failure to do so will result in not being able to claim for the day's meals were served before the application was fully approved. So for example, if school starts on August 26th, but the NSLP application was not fully approved until September 17th, the SFA may not receive claims from August 26th to September 16th. As a reminder, our office is reviewing many NSLP applications, and it may take 2 or so weeks from the time your application is submitted until we can review it. So for some reminders and tips, make sure to hit the Save hyperlink in each site page, on the sponsor page, and on just each section of the application so you do not lose your work. And I cannot emphasize enough the importance of properly labeling attachments. When in doubt, like I said, select Other and include the title of the attachment in the description. This will make it much easier and more time efficient for our office to review NSLP application attachments. The application will be returned if attachments are labeled incorrectly. Additionally, make sure the application is fully submitted if you want our office to review it. Applications that are pending submission to DOE will not be reviewed. If you have any questions on how certain attachments should be done, please do not hesitate to reach out to the NSLP team. We are more than happy to offer guidance on any area of the application. And most importantly, you got this. And as always, never hesitate to reach out for help. So we do have some time now for questions. If you want to put any questions you have into the Q&A box.